So what's the largest cost in this bill? The majority of money spent in this bill is for tax cuts for corporations, right?
As we understand it, yes.
So you got to figure that some of that $338 billion is going to go to more tax cuts for corporations. It would stand to reason that the $300 billion that's being taken away from American families to help them pay for health insurance is being used to pay for tax cuts to big companies. As we learned yesterday, these are some of the very same multinational corporations that are rewarded in this bill, in this tax bill. They get tax breaks to shut down production in Mansfield, Ohio, and Lima, Ohio, and Cincinnati, Ohio, to move overseas, set up production there, sell back in the United States. So the beneficiaries of this provision on the $338 billion are again going to be the same corporations that are being rewarded for sending American jobs overseas. Now, we know that according to CBO, this bill, again, because of the provisions, Senator Wyden's spoken so well about the provisions that were slipped in last night to unravel the Affordable Care Act. A bunch of us with taxpayer insurance willing to take insurance away from up to 13 million Americans, having nothing to do with tax reform. We now know this bill will cause, according to CBO, will cause health insurance premiums to go up 10%. 10%. For many families, that's a lot of money. So my next question is based, Mr. Crosso, on the best analysis available. What's the average tax cut for a tax filer earning between $40,000 and $60,000 a year?
Well, it's about $630 according to numbers from the Institute for Taxation and Economic
And that's
Policy.
all tax filers, correct?
It's all tax filers, and I should say that's a net figure that also includes those households that see tax increases.
So that means the average tax cut for a family of four in Akron, Ohio, or Youngstown, Ohio, or Gallipolis, Ohio, earning $60,000 a year, the average tax cut would be $630, correct?
Yes.
And for tax filers earning a little bit less, 24 to 40,000, what is their expected tax cut under this bill?
About 340. And again, this is from the ITEP analysis.
So that would mean, that would include an individual in Ohio filing a loan earning $25,000 a year, they would get about $340.
Correct.
So here's the problem. According to the Joint Economic Committee, a 27-year-old in Ohio earning about $25,000 a year would see their health insurance premiums increase by $395 a year. They get $340 in tax cuts. So, but paying $395 more for health insurance, they're $55 in the hole. So what they did last night by inserting this health care repeal, not only are they costing 13 million Americans their health insurance, those that keep insurance are seeing their costs totally wipe away their generally not very generous compared to what corporations are getting, tax break that they get. So, and you said a family of four earning $60,000 a year could expect a tax cut of $630. The Joint Economic Committee says that same family is going to pay $1,431 a year in health insurance premiums under this bill. So they're $800 in the hole. So if you want to cut taxes for the middle class, Mr. Chairman, why don't you cut taxes for the middle class? And one more point I want to make. A group of us were invited to meet with the president, we're invited to meet with Gary Cohn, the chief economist or the chief economic advisor for the president, about a week ago, and the president from 7,000 miles away in Asia called in the middle of this meeting. And one of the things the president said after complimenting himself on a fine trip, how highly rated his trip was and what a good job he was doing, and we all nodded. Then the president said, you know, my economist, and this was a question for Mr. Cross, so my accountants told me that, and Senator Bennett was at this meeting, my accountant told me that there's not anything in this bill, this would be bad for my personal situation, and there's just not anything in this bill for rich guys like me. And then the president said, that's why we put the estate tax repeal in this bill, because there's nothing else in this bill for rich guys like me. Is that true?
Your time has expired.
Okay, I just want a question, Mr. I know you don't like that question, Mr. Chairman, but Mr. Crosso?
Wind up.
Was that true that there's nothing in the bill for rich guys except for the state tax repeal?
It's our understanding, and this is also based on JCT tables that assign the aggregate values of this tax cut by income class, that the majority of the money spent is on those above 200,000.
And the president's probably in that category. We don't know because we've never seen his tax returns.
Mr. Bartow,
we do know what he's making right now.
Right,